My house is haunted. This thing is not a ghost or a red-tailed demon. My house is haunted by a smile. The first time I saw it, I wasn't even sure I had seen anything. I was doing laundry one night. My laundry room is in an unfinished part of my basement, with the concrete walls and a lone 60-watt bulb casting dingy yellow light about the place. So it always feels a little creepy down there. This particular night, I had just loaded up the washing machine, and as I slammed the lid closed, that bulb flickered. As I turned to head upstairs, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something that made my blood run cold. It was a giant smile, a big, toothy grin with no face attached. My heart skipped a beat, and as I instinctively turned towards what I thought I saw, the light flickered again. When my eyes readjusted after the flash, predictably, I was alone in the basement once more. Still, I raced upstairs and shut the basement door behind me. I waited until morning to put my clothes in the dryer, just to be safe. I thought I saw that ghostly grin all around my house for the next week. I would see it vaguely in a reflection in a window, or it would appear in front of me when I turned out a light, like when a flashbulb pops and burns a negative image into your retinas for a few seconds. In time, though, I did start to calm down about it. I was just being jumpy, I told myself. Ghosts and all that spooky stuff was just the invention of scared people with overactive imaginations. What I saw was just a trick of the mind, and I was overreacting. I didn't see the smile for a while. I kind of forgot about it, honestly. I guess I was finally able to put the idea to bed in my subconscious, and I went about my business. A few weeks later, I was carrying a midnight snack up to my room on the second floor. The staircase had 6 steps, then a landing where it turned and continued the rest of the way up. I stopped on the landing to pop one of my pizza rolls in my mouth, and as I chewed and rounded the corner, there it was. But it wasn't just a smile this time. The big smile was accompanied by a pair of cat eyes. The smile was far too big for the eyes, long and narrow, with a mixture of human and feline teeth. The eyes, glowing nuclear green, never blinked as they stared at me. I screamed and dropped everything. I stared back, wide-eyed and afraid, unsure of what I was seeing or what to do about it. Suddenly, the face raced towards me, cloaked in a smoky shadow, and I collapsed backwards into the wall. The face raced past me and vanished through the wall. I sat there and collected my breath for several minutes, and then, on impulse, abandoned my plate and pizza rolls where they had fallen to lock myself in my room and barricade myself inside. Considering the thing could travel through walls, I was fairly certain this would do no good, but it made me feel a little safer anyway. I lay under the blanket, as still as I could make myself, with only my eyes exposed, fearfully watching the darkness. I don't know how, but at some point, I fell asleep. When I awoke, I cautiously made my way out to the stairwell, where I found no trace of what had happened the night before. Well, almost no trace. My plate still lay on the floor. The pizza rolls, however, were missing, save for a small red sauce smudge on the plate. Other than that, not even a crumb remained. I didn't know what to do or think, so I did what I always do in those situations. I called my brother. Okay, so let me get this straight. In the middle of the night, you were attacked by Ghastly from Pokemon, who then ate your pizza rolls? I hate that you said it like that, but yes, that is more or less what happened. And what? You're afraid to be alone in your own house now? Yes. So are you coming over or not? My brother sighed. I'll be right there. An hour later, my brother and I stood on the landing on my stairs, and I recounted the story once more, this time pointing out where things had happened. When we got to the part where it disappeared into the wall, my brother turned, tracking the path with his eyes. Suddenly, he squinted and got real close to the wall. I stepped over and followed his gaze. There, about 4.5 feet off the ground, was an almost imperceptible imprint in the paint. "Is that?" I began to ask, but trailed off. My brother nodded and touched it with his finger, saying almost to himself, "A cat knows." We looked at each other. "Bobby, what the hell happened last night?" The rest of the day is a bit of a blackout for me. The next thing I remember is sitting on the floor of my living room and the sunset shining through my window as my older brother shook my shoulder, telling me the pizza had arrived. We stood and walked to my back sliding door, but as we did so, through the fog, I realized that wasn't right. Why was the delivery person in my backyard? Alarm bells went off in my mind as we flipped on the back porch light, just in time to see a giant feline head spinning slowly like a record as it sailed across my porch and through the glass door, grinning, displaying far too many teeth. We both stumbled backwards, and I tripped and swore, falling hard. The cat's head flew over me, and I rolled over to watch as it chased my brother to the wall. It let out a purring chuckle as it slammed into his chest. He had just enough time for us to exchange a look of pure terror before he was vaporized. His body left a black before he was vaporized. His body left a black, sooty outline on my wall, like the carbon shadows in Hiroshima. The cat disappeared for a moment, but I could still hear its laughter, seeming to swing all around me, as if the thing had turned invisible and was just taunting me at that point. When it reappeared, it sat upon my mantle, a fully formed body now, with a satisfied smile plastered across its face. It winked at me and purred. I looked from it to my brother's shape on the wall, and I ran to the back door and threw up on the porch. The cat floated along lazily and followed me outside. "What do you want?" I shouted, my voice wavering and raspy. The cat shrugged. I went back inside and sat down on my couch. It floated in behind me and landed softly on my lap. It eyed me, motioning with its nose that it wanted me to pet it. I did. I sat there for what seemed like hours. The sun set, and a cool breeze eased its way in through the open sliding door. Two things occurred to me at the same time. The pizza my brother mentioned had never arrived, and I had not seen my roommate in 2 days now. I looked down at the cat, who purred and nodded at me, the perpetual grin setting my nerves on edge once more. It has been 4 days. I have not stood from this spot. I have not eaten or had a drink of water or slept. I still have not seen my roommate. I think my house is haunted, but I am unsure by what or who. The only thing I know is that yesterday at sunset, I noticed I had begun to smile, and my teeth were sharper than I remembered.